Battlefield 2042, we're doing a comparison. On the left we have Xbox Series X, on the right we have Xbox Series S. So we're going to be showcasing three different scenarios. The first is going to be Kaleidoscope, the second is going to be Breakaway, and the third will be Hourglass. 128 players with crossplay enabled for both of them so that we can get as close as possible within the same scenarios, which was strangely quite hard to do when I was doing matchmaking. It was a pain, but I got them close enough together so that you can kind of try to get a bit of a scenario between the two, and it's very hard to get them obviously perfectly lined up due to, well, all the other players and everything like that, and then the dynamic weathering and blah 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 blah. You get what I'm saying. And these videos are a ton of work to put together, so be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So on the left with Xbox Series X, we're getting a dynamic 4K resolution. It can drop down to like 1800p. On the right with Xbox Series S, we're getting 1300p, which can drop down to like 1080p around there. So both of them are using dynamic resolution scaling, so the visuals will change a little bit between them. Both of them are running at 60 FPS, and we have HDR support. So with that, there are some really interesting things for both of these consoles. So the Series X is obviously the top tier visual experience. You're going to get the most out of it. You know, the characters, the world, the textures, everything looks sharper. It looks much more, you know, full of depth and realism. And then on Series S, actually, I think that one looks really, really good. It does actually, you know, kind of fully give you the full scale of the world. You know, you get that next-gen experience of all those players, and it does look decently good on a 4K screen. I was actually pleasantly surprised. Now, you can definitely tell when there's stressors going on, and you can see a lot like jagged lines. You can really see the world kind of lower down in that regard, whereas you don't really notice that on the Series X. Now, with the Series S, I had perfect performance. It says 60 FPS. I was hard pressed to find any moment where there's actually any sort of drops. The Series S absolutely delivers peak perfect performance. And then on the Series X, there are spots here or there where you might see some frame drops, you know, for like 20 seconds or so in some areas. Not the biggest deal in the world, but it definitely is something that shows up enough where you can be like, the frame rate's dropping here. And you know, this might change over time. I'm sure, you know, we're going to continue to see updates and support for this game in regards to the performance and generally fixes and adjusting the gameplay. You know, gameplay aside, we're mostly looking at how these two run against each other. Now, it actually is a really great experience either way, I'd say, you know, in regards to how it's running. When it launched, there were crashes, there were problems. At this point, both of them are running fine. You don't really see issues like that, and I think that's quite great. So, aside from resolution, the Series S also has some, you know, kind of downscaled, like foliage type stuff. You know, some other little effects have been drawn back here or there. But like I said, it is virtually the same experience, and just Series S is a significantly lower resolution, but it does keep that performance just rolling the whole way through, which I say is a good benefit for the little machine. It definitely, you know, kind of packs above its weight class. I'd say I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, oh wow, this is, you know, this isn't too bad looking. This is actually running decently well. But like I said, some scenarios gets a little bit more jagged around the edges. You can definitely see a bit more of where, you know, that lower resolution is definitely something you might notice on a bigger screen. You might notice it on like a 4K screen a little bit more. But if you haven't played the Series X version, you're just playing the Series S version, I think you're probably going to notice that a little bit less. And I'd actually say, you know, getting this up to like 1300p range and stuff is like pretty good. That's not bad at all. It's really quite interesting. So they definitely did deliver here for both of these options. And again, like one being day, one being rain, it's just so, it was so frustrating trying to get these two lined up. I spent so much time trying to get the right map scenarios with the right areas, and it was a pain. What can I say? It was not working for me. It was just like, nope, you're not getting this. And I was like, ugh. But I think this, you know, clarity-wise, gameplay-wise, is kind of showing similar spots and similar scenarios. And I just wanted that to kind of get across here. So I think that's about all the details I have for these two. There are, again, and we're going to be seeing that in just a second here, two more scenarios that you can see in action of the two going side by side. You know, this one was kind of a more traditional green space, you know, kaleidoscope there. This one is going to be a snowy ice one. You can definitely see a lot more difference on like the actual definition of the glaciers here too, which is kind of neat. And then the last one is a sand scenario. So I wanted to pick A, my favorite levels, B, the ones that look very distinct from one another in terms of the visual style, you know, the aesthetic, very different biomes and environments. So I hope you found this to be interesting. Once again, liking the video is great, subscribing is great as well, and enjoy the rest of this Battlefield action as you see 2042 in action side by side. I don't know if we'll revisit this for further updates down the road, but I think this is kind of a good showcase and a definitive sort of dive in to the visual comparison between the two of these, and a little bit of the performance as well too.
We're taking too many casualties. Hit one! An objective is under siege. Pushed out of an objective. One of our objectives is under attack. Oh, nasty way to go. Support package available. Our troops have captured Echo Sector. That had to hurt. Most sectors on the battlefield. They have secured Echo Sector. We've lost our driver! Friendlies beginning attack on Alpha 3. Don't approach my position! Taken Bravo sector.
Drawing on reinforcements. In progress.
We control most sectors on the battlefield.
Delta sector is now fully secured. US forces at 50%.
We control most sectors on the battlefield.
One of our objectives is being invaded.
Requesting transport deployment at my location.
Request received. Your vehicle is en route. Friendlies are securing objective Bravo 1. We have secured Alpha sector. US forces refusing to cede ground. Push them out! Our troops are assaulting Bravo 1.